Massena Talks is sponsored by the Oak Tree Cafe in the St. Lawrence Center Mall. And now, here's Gary.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Massena Talks, and I'm your host, Gary Edwards. Again, we're right at home tonight at the Oak Tree Cafe, right in the St. Lawrence Center and Entertainment Mall, right here in Massena, New York. And do we have a very different and exciting show for you tonight. This show is going to be geared, maybe not to the moms and dads in the house, but it's going to be geared towards the kids, and especially the kids that are either in college or going to college here in a few short weeks. Our show is with graduating seniors from 1996, and we have 4 great ladies here that are in college, and this is what we're going to talk about. Leaving high school life and taking that big step into the future. We're going to talk all about how and what it is like to be in college. Stay tuned. Don't leave your seat. This is going to be a great show. We'll be right back.
Did you know that the Oak Tree Cafe in the St. Lawrence Center can cater your party? Small or large, weddings, banquets, birthdays, or company parties, any occasion, they do it all. Select from a variety of menus to fit your taste and pocketbook. Plan your affair and call Pierre at the Oak Tree Cafe in the St. Lawrence Center, 769-0473.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Pierre Alwan, owner of the Oak Tree Cafe, and welcome back to my place, the Oak Tree, and I want to thank you for letting us into your home. I'd like tonight to introduce our young panel, starting by Michelle.
I'm Michelle McGinn. I go to Albany College of Pharmacy.
My name is Lonnie Cholko, and I go to Purdue University.
My name is Becky Krass, and I go to Rochester Institute of Technology. My name is Amy Cross, and I go to Oneonta State College.
My name is Brian Marshall. I just graduated from Norfolk, and I'm going to Potsdam State.
My name is Darren Haggett. I'm a Norfolk graduate, and I'm planning on going to North Country in Saranac.
Okay, thank you everybody, and welcome to the Oak Tree Cafe. And what we're trying to do today is, first, I'm sorry, I forgot to thank Gary for allowing me to take his place tonight. I know this is his favorite show, and we kind of asked him to let us do it because I know pretty much all the young people on the panel, and I felt they might be a little at ease with me. What we're trying to do is explain about the college life. We're trying to encourage all the young people to go to college, and for those of the parents that are watching, if your kids are at home, please ask them to come in and watch their friends talk about their experiences, their fears, the joy of college life, and everything that goes with it. The first thing I want to do is ask the high school senior a couple of questions here. Starting with Brian. Brian, can you tell us and tell the young people out there, why are you going to college tonight?
Tonight, I'm going to Potsdam because I'm going to be a political science major. They have an excellent program down there, and it's a nice campus, and it's not too far away from home, but still far enough away from the family.
Okay. So basically you choose Potsdam State because it's close to the family and have a good program.
Right.
Okay, thank you, Brian. Go ahead.
I wasn't really too sure about what I wanted to do, and I had a couple friends that went up to North Country, and they just suggested to go up. It's far enough from home, but close enough if I want to come home I can. And I'm going to go into criminal justice, and the program is really good up there, and that's about it.
Well, that is good enough. Now, so basically, you picked North Country Community College because it have a good program and because it's close to home.
Right.
Now, since we're on the subject at home, can you tell me what is your biggest fear about leaving home and going to college?
I think the biggest fear is that basically just leaving the house and not, being out on my own and just not knowing, what to expect.
And in what sense? Or academically, socially?
I'm gonna have to, I'm gonna be by myself. I'm not gonna have my parents pushing me, and they're just, they're not gonna be there. They're not gonna be there to say, do your homework, or gotta do it myself.
Okay, that sounds good. I'd like to ask Brian the same question. Brian, what are your biggest fear about leaving home?
My biggest fear, probably because there's gonna be a lot more responsibilities put on me instead. Like, I'm not gonna have the teachers sitting there pushing me to do better. It's gonna be a lot of just, if I don't do it, then I don't do it. And personally, I've never really been one to study too hard in school, so it's like a chance to just pretty much show myself that I can do it, and I just don't also want to let my parents down too.
Okay, I want to thank these guys for being honest with us. I mean, they're being completely honest about their fears. They're being, of course, the fear of growing up happens to all of us. I'm 35 years old. I'm still afraid to grow up. It might happen one of these days. Let me see if I can have some of the college students over here help you out in these situations. I'm going to kind of ask you guys the same question I asked Brian. I'm sorry, I forgot. Darren. I keep forgetting Darren's name, I'm sorry. I want to start with Amy and work our way down to Becky, Lonnie, and Michelle. Amy, if you please tell us, why did you choose your college, and what was your biggest fear leaving home?
I chose Oneonta because it is a good school for my program. I'm studying fashion marketing, and it's a 3-1 with FIT, so next year I'll be at FIT. One of my biggest fears was leaving home, being far away from home and my family, my sister, and just having to be responsible and independent for the first time. But, yeah, that's about it.
Answer the same question?
Same question, please.
Okay. I chose Rochester Institute of Technology because it's good in my major. It has a good program. One of my biggest fears was leaving home, finding new friends, being responsible, having everything up to me, and my mom not there to push me and do all that and have everything up to me.
Lonnie?
Well, I chose Purdue because my dad went to Purdue. I never saw the campus before. I just picked it because the teachers at school said that I would have more fun at Purdue. And so I took their advice. I never saw the school until I went down for the first weekend of classes. So my biggest fear was going to a state I've never been to before, Indiana, and not knowing anybody at that school. But it all turned out wonderful. I met so many people, and I love it.
Thank you, Lonnie.
I chose Albany College of Pharmacy because I like the healthcare profession, and my cousin went there. I had never been to Albany before, but I found out it was a really small school. But I left home a year early. I spent my senior year in Virginia, so I didn't have fear leaving home. But I guess the work, I heard it was, a really tough course, so it was just the work that I had to do, the responsibilities I had to take on. And that's about it.
Thank you. Okay. On this note, now that we know everybody's fear and the reasons they picked up their college, we will take a break and we'll hear a message from our sponsor.
The Oak Tree Cafe in the St. Lawrence Center in Massena now offers live dinner music featuring Jerry Morin every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday evening from 5:30 till 8:30. Have you tried their buffet? Thursday, prime rib buffet. Friday, seafood buffet. Saturday, the grand buffet. And on Sunday, the buffet brunch. Plus a full menu, and most meals are $10 or less. Breakfast, lunch, or dinner, the Oak Tree Cafe in the St. Lawrence Center. Stay tuned for new exciting changes.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Massena Talks and to the Oak Tree Cafe. We're here with our panel discussing college life, the joys, the fears, and education. Now that we know everybody's fear about going to college, and we know the reasons they picked their college, I'd like the college student that we have here to explain to these youngsters about how did you deal with your fear. We know your fears. You had problems leaving home. You were afraid you're gonna make new friends. Your classes, how did you deal with all these problems?
My school is pretty small. It's about 750 students. So it's like a big family. Everybody was really friendly when you first got there. But the coursework was really tough. And the best thing to do is to talk to your professors, really get to know them, make sure they know you on like a first name basis. And you know, it's up to you to do your work. So when you go home at night and you plan on going to that party that night, you got to make sure you do your work before you leave. Because if you let it pile up, it's just gonna, you know, hit you in the back one of those days. So just get your work done, and then you can have a good time.
Thank you.
Well, I kind of put my fear off until driving down to Purdue. Halfway down, I looked in the front mirror and I saw my mom bawling, which made me cry so hard. I finally realized I was going away from my family. So they dropped me off. They dropped me right off at the meeting I had for my major, and I was just crying so hard, and I just had to deal with it. I had no choice. They were gone. I was stuck in Indiana. So I met as many people as I could, went to all the social events I possibly could, just leached on to anybody I could to be my friend. And before you know it, I was having a blast, and I was calling my mom every day to begin with. Second semester, I called her maybe once every 2 weeks. I was having a blast.
I dealt with my fears by joining social events and going to activities to meet new friends and find something to do with my spare time so I wouldn't be so lonely. Called my mom, talked to my mom and all that. Basically how I dealt with my fear. I did just about the same as everybody else. You just have to go out, get to know people, different people. I lived in a suite my first semester, so I basically hung out with the same people, and we got to be close friends and just have a good time and make sure, like Michelle said, get your work done before you party.
Well, there you have it. Get your work done, go to all the social events, call your mom every other day, and you'll be fine.